Anyways, in this tutorial, we'll go through how to write a Sophia smart contract in 3 steps. So sit tight and get ready to start your journey as an Eternity developer. This tutorial aims to make you understand the fundamentals of Sophia smart contract and also to help you learn how to write your first smart contract to Sophia in 3 steps using the powerful AI Studio. Before we proceed, let's do justice to some specific keywords, which include Sophia, smart contract, and AI Studio. Sophia is Eternity's functional programming language that is customized for smart contracts and can be published to the Eternity blockchain. Smart contract is a program that is executed on the Eternity computing infrastructure. AI Studio is a straightforward online contract editor for Sophia that is created to get you going fast in writing smart contracts for Eternity blockchain. Now that we know these keywords, let's get started by highlighting 3 steps in writing a Sophia smart contract. The first is called declaring the contract and its state. Second is initializing the contract. And the last step is utilizing the contract. This is where you have to fasten your seatbelt as we take off to visit AI Studio on the main website. Okay, so I'm going to open a new tab and type in studio.aepps.com, studio.apps.com. Perfect, it's loading, great. This is AI Studio, the online contract editor. As you can see, this is the contract we want to write, but I'm going to clean everything now and start over. So, Control A here and close up. So let's take the step one by one by starting with declaring the contract and its state. This step simply means naming our contract and giving it a record state to hold the data. Take a record state to be a container that will hold the data. For this tutorial, we'll write an HelloWorld contract, which is only appropriate to name our contract HelloWorld. To name our contract, we will have to start by writing the keyword contract, followed by the name of our contract. And in this case, it's HelloWorld. So contract HelloWorld space equals. Great. As you can see, this AI Studio helps you in giving you errors in case you're writing something and it's saying, no, you need to fix something here and something there. So, great. Let's proceed. And the next thing we have to do is to create our container, right? As I said. So to create our container, we have to enter a new line and give in an identified indentation this way. I made use of the tab. You can make use of a space for your own, but let's just make use of tab so it will be well identified. And the next thing we want to do is to write the keyword record state equals, then curly brackets this way. Now we have our container, and we want our container to contain a specific word. So for that, I'm going to create a variable called word, and I'm going to make it a string type variable. Great. We've declared our container, which is the state, and inside our container, we have a variable called word, which is a string type of variable. So we can move on to the next step, which is initializing our contract. This step simply means setting our smart contract starting point by giving our state container a default value, right? With our present contract, we'll make use of our word variable equals to an empty string, and to do that, we'll move to a new line and start with a keyword called entry point. So I'm going to move to a new line now. I'm going to enter this keyword entry point, followed by init, and then equals to, and then I will open a curly bracket. Inside that curly bracket, I'm going to make our word variable equals to an empty string. Great. The entry point keyword is the same thing as writing function keyword in JavaScript or any other programming language. As you know, after the name, after the keyword, after you enter the keyword, you have to enter that function name. And in this case, it's init, which is this. And as you know, a function can take in parameters here. But in this case, we're not going to enter any parameter. You can put in something here. And we have it. We've initialized our contract and our word, which is this. Our word variable now is an empty string. Perfect. Let's move to the final step, which is utilizing the contract. This simply means writing functions to perform logic tasks for our smart contract. We can write a function to add to the container, which is our state, this. We can have a function to remove from the container or even read from the container. So in this case, we're going to create a function that we add to the container. And what we want to add to the container is to replace this empty string with a new word. So we're going to create a say hello function that will collect a name, save that name, or rather replace that name with this after adding a greeting. So the first thing we need to do is to move to another line. Let's go this way. And then we write the keyword public. Great. Then followed by stateful, then entry points, and finally our function name, which in our case would be say hello. So our say hello is going to have a parameter we're going to call name, and this name parameter is going to be a string, and then we're going to have this column followed by a string, and then we're going to have equals to. Okay, before we proceed, let me explain this line. The public keyword, which is this, means this whole function can be called outside our contract, meaning it can be called on our web or mobile app. Great. Then this stateful keyword means that this function can make changes to our state. So this function can make changes to our state container. That is the meaning of the stateful keyword. I've explained what this entry point means, and I've explained what this say hello means, which is the name of our function. So this column here and string simply means this function is going to return a string value at the end of performing any logic inside the function. So the next thing we're going to do is to move to the next line, make a significant indentation as well. This, then we start with a let keyword. Okay, we know what let keyword means, which means we want to create a variable, and in this case we're going to say new word, which is going to be our variable name, new word followed by equals to, and then what we are going to do after this is to enter the string dot concat. Okay, before we move on, let me explain what string.concat means. So the string.concat is actually a built-in function that takes in two parameters. And what does the function does? What the function is doing is to join two strings together, adding two strings together. So what we want to say for our new word now is to return hello and then the name, which in this case is this name. So I'm going to open a bracket since it's a function, and I'm going to open this first string and I'm going to say hello. Let's just say hello, this, and the space, and then the other parameter is going to receive is going to be the name. So what this is to do is return hello, then the name. So any parameter, any name we give to this, say hello world name parameter, is what is going to pick here. So the next thing we want to do now is to add this new word variable to our state, which in this case is going to replace this empty string. Don't forget our word here is a variable. Our word here, this is the container record state, and this word is a variable that's a string. And when we're initializing our contract, the string is empty at the moment. So we want to replace this empty string with new word. To do that, I'm going to move to the next line here, and I'm going to say put, which is a built-in function as well. Then I'm going to open this. Inside this, I'm going to say states. After state, I'm going to open a curly bracket followed by our word variable now, and I'm going to say equals to new word. Perfect. Okay. Now we have this, and this line is working well. What this line is going to do, as I explained, is it's going to replace this empty string with this new word. So because our function here is to return a string, we're going to return this new word. So to do that, I'm going to enter a new line as well, and I'm going to say new underscore word. Great. Now our contract looks good, and it's ready for testing. Okay, if you notice here, we still have this error, and that should be internet issue. So let's refresh this page and see. Okay, I guess it's still loading. Sorry about bad internet. Okay, I guess I'm just going to refresh again. Oh, voila. Our first contract is ready for deployment to the Eternity blockchain. So for this tutorial, we'll make use of the testnet network to deploy our contracts, so we won't be charged with real tokens. And that's the beauty of AE Studio. You can deploy to testnet network or the main network. So this tutorial, we're just going to make use of the testnet network. So to do that, and if you notice, we have for our testnet network, we have these 4 different accounts in which we can use for testing. It has been funded and you can use it for testing. So the next thing I'm going to do now is just to click on the deploy button and wait for our first contract deployment. Perfect. Our contract has been deployed, and if you scroll down to this event log, you would see the contract address, the owner address, and the transaction hash. Great. So our contract is ready, and if we click on HelloWorld now, we have this say hello function, which is this. It's a stateful function in which I've explained that, and we have this option to input something. If you see, it's having a placeholder string, which our parameter here is a name that is a data type of string. So if I enter eternal here, let's just make use of eternal. See, send transaction, we should receive hello eternal. Perfect. Now we have our function, this function, after executing everything, we are having the return value of hello eternal, which is what we told it to return. For it to return this, for it to get to this state, definitely it has replaced our empty string with this new word. Great job so far, and I would say welcome to Eternity Dev family. Now you can write your own smart contract. For much more Sophia documentation, I would provide a link below in which you can use to learn more on Sophia, see more things you can do, check out more built-in functions you can add to your function, to your smart contract, and welcome. So as you can see, this is the call for this function. After we perform this function call, this is the successful. We can see the hash, we see the decoded results, which is hello eternal. You can see it here as well. So we will end this tutorial here. I am Emmanuel Joseph Jet, ækiti Embassy Lead and Ambassador. For more inquiry on Sophia, you can reach me via our website, which is aeternity.com. The link will also be provided below, or by adding a comment to this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button to get notified when we release more video. Bye, and see you in the next video.